Well, hello my friends. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. I'm telling you, it is start of November, and of course, it's time to see who's been naughty or nice as we make out our Christmas wish list. So I'm counting myself as nice. I ain't taking on naughty. So, every year I try to give you some ideas of books that will be good, not only to put on your Christmas wish list, but then we can start working this, what we learned from the books or what we see in the books for the next year. And I'm looking forward to 2020 of, new projects, new ideas, new thinking, new things, new friends. So this is Jay's Christmas list, and these are some of the books I'm going to tell you about. All right, let's get started. See if I'm on, see if you can see the books. There'll be just a little glare because I'm sitting on the window, but I'll work it out. All right. First of all, when I was over at Joann's, I haven't seen any new Stitch books, and I haven't seen any real new ones on Amazon either. So that told me, Jay, you need to go back and look in your stash, because I have books. It's kind of like a child, you buy them a toy and they love that toy, and then you show them a new toy and then they throw that toy on the pile. Well, I have lots of books, Stitch books, because that's mainly what I use, on my pile. And all of a sudden I realized these two books used to be my go-to books. I'm telling you, I just love these two books. I have had them. Let's see, they came out around 2010. So I had them around 2010 or 11, but 12, but I've had them, and you can see they've got a lot of wear and tear on them. Let me show you, and the reason I'm bringing them to you now, because, it's going to take time for you to find them. Since they're old, they're not in the stores. You may be able to find them on Amazon. If not, then check some of the used book sites. I used to buy a lot of my books from used book sites back in the day. As long as none of them showed up that smelled like smoke, I'd make sure some kind of way if And I think they started getting the idea, not just, just from general people. You don't want books that smell like smoke. I'm sorry if you smoke, that's fine. I just don't, I can't take the smell of smoke. So, but it's easy to go back and track some of these books down. So let me tell you about these two. All right, I'm going to move one over so I can come back and talk about this. But this is the very easy guide to cable knitting. Step-by-step techniques, easy to follow patterns and projects to get you started. Now, let me move it over. There it goes. I'm in a place now. Step-by-step techniques, easy to follow patterns and projects to get you started. Because I have to remind myself that we're always getting new friends to come and join us here at Jay's Knit and Purl Jam from all over the world. And everyone's not in the same place or may, get the gist of everything that we are doing. So it's good to go back and take a look at some of the books that influenced me and helped me to understand so that I would continue to, to grow. This book is by Lynn Watterson. Lynn Watterson. And like I said, the two of these books were my go-to whenever I was making my first few projects, way before I got on YouTube, just knitting in my own house. So let me take you, of course, this is about cable. So I'm going to take you through and just give you an idea. If you are a basic knitter, and I'm going to take you step by step. So even if you are just truly, you begin, you understand, the concept of knitting, you wouldn't be left out. Now, since this book is old, a lot of the pages have a lot of still, diagrams and drawings and things like that. Well, now with the YouTube, you just go on and type in how to cast on, how to bind off. A lot of that we don't even have to do anymore. And it's just great. And another reason for me trying to go back and find books for, to encourage new knitters, because once you understand how stitch books work and how to use them and how to, we're not trying to make magazine design type projects. These are just basic things that I love to just design for myself. But the knowledge is the key to unlock the door. A stitch book is like a key to unlock your creativity. I'll say it again. Let's say it together. A stitch book is like a key to unlock your creativity, your own creativity. Nothing wrong buying other people's patterns, but sometimes you just need to make something for yourself out of your own brain. So, for instance, I'm going to turn over here. I'm going to turn to a few pages, and then, of course, we'll switch books. Another thing is because this, I'll come in just a little bit, because her swatches are so nice and big that a beginner or anyone, even me, that, with my age, with my eyesight, even with my glasses, I like to see things. I'm not afraid to pull out my magnifying glass. I'll pull it out in a minute. But look at these beautiful swatches that she has. This says mock cables. And above here it says slip stitch cable. So I guess that's the name of that stitch. See, can I get it without the glare? There you go. But also, if I just move it just a little bit, here is the written pattern row by row. There are 4 rows. Oh, only 4 rows? That's nice. She tells you everything you need to know. Oh, and also there's a chart right up under there. Just, really simple, no fussy like chart. Just nice and clean. But under or above the swatch, she's going to give you some information too. This sample shows 6 pattern repeats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Worked on a multiple of 5 stitches. And that's where I come in to show you how to make. I work from a formula. I show you how to write up a formula for whatever project we want to make. Using the multiple. A multiple of 5 stitches. And then at the end of the count, you'd add 2. Plus 2. And she has used size 8 for this swatch. So I'm just showing you some simple things. And then there's great pictures in here to go along. And I just like them because they're so large. Look at this. Here's some other examples of the beautiful work. And I think I've not seen anybody review this book or even bring this book up, but I'm telling you, I'm sorry that it took me so long. Like I say, I'm just like a child. I get something dangling new and shiny. I forget the old. But I'm telling you, I'm so glad I remembered to go back and give a proper review to these 2 books because they've brought me joy. And I want you to have some joy too, the same joy. But look at the swatch. Let me lay it down there. Let me see. Oh, look at here. All right, now, for instance, on this one, she has it on the big swatch. Let me hold it up. There you go. It says slip stitch braid. This sample shows 4 pattern repeats worked on a multiple of 8 stitches plus 4. And then the pattern and a chart. But then over here, right next to it, she says, well, I'm going to give you a variation of this same stitch. So maybe this one's, we'll do something a little different. Now, I don't know what she did different. Well, one thing, the first one here is only 4 rows. This one is 6 rows. Now, I haven't read through it all, and, that's something we'll do later. It says variation, worked on a multiple of 8 stitches plus 4. This was, that was 8 stitches plus 4, so I don't know what the variation is, but she apparently worked up something to change that a little bit. So, as we get to them, we'll take a look and find out. Oh, she does that on this one too. Oh, I see. She shows you maybe how to add or connect things. Here is oblique cable. Very nice cable. I've done that lots of times. Here's the row by row. And then here's a variation. Well, on this one, she says, this sample shows 3 pattern repeats worked on a multiple of 8 stitches plus 1 at the end. The variation is worked on a multiple of 17 stitches plus 6. So now we can definitely see a variation there. Now, wouldn't that be pretty? See? a variation. Here's a simple stitch or plain, and then here's something she's added for the variation. Beautiful swatch. I just want to go through some of these. Like I say, here's one. Oh my gosh. This is the mock gull stitch. Here, this one. This sample shows 4 repeats, 4 pattern repeats worked on a multiple of 8 stitches plus 2. And then, of course, there's a line by line. Now, okay, line by line, and there are 6 rows here. And then the chart. But on the variation, worked on a multiple of 8 stitches plus 2. But apparently something, it does look different. There is a variation, and there are 8 rows on the variation. Oh, I love that color. Look at that. Oh my gosh, can you see that? Look. Line by line, there's a chart. I remember when I bought this book. I bought it at Joanne's. I just came home and I just drooled. It was almost as good as eating a Reese's peanut butter cup. Remember, this is back in the day. You know, I've grown since then, but I still, when I found this in my stash, I couldn't believe I got the same feeling when I looked through the book, even though I've had it all these years. I thought, oh my gosh, I love this book. Oh gosh. Okay, here's mock cable. Oh, we need to do something mock cable on a sweater or something. You know, it's just, there's 12 rows. Beautiful chart, very easy to read. If you are a chart lover, you will like this one. This sample shows 2 pattern repeats worked on a multiple of 16 stitches plus 6. So I could see that as like a edging or a pretty insert into a sweater. Now here's the variation. I'm all off camera. I'm so excited. Okay. Oh, now this is worked on a multiple of 30 stitches plus 20. Oh my gosh, we'd really have to find something for that one. Really big. But isn't that pretty? And you may hear some outside noises. It's fall. It's time to try to get these leaves up. There's still quite a bit. I can look out the window. There's still a lot on the tree, so there's going to be a lot of leaf blowing in the next few videos. So look, I'm just telling you now, my husband, he loves to blow his leaves. All right. Here's slip circular cable. I know I didn't want to go through all of them, but I just couldn't help. I know I'll just start. I won't read. I'll just kind of let you see the pictures. Okay, then, of course, like most books, she'll give you maybe a small or cute little design or project so that you can try out the things that she's sharing and how to use them, how to make a simple design. And of course, she's going to give you the traditional, like you get from the knit shop, you know, how to set it up and the size and the gauge and all that. You know, I do mine from formulas, and I'll get into that later when we actually do something. But here's project number 1, mug and tea cozies. So she's done that for cups. So you have someone, maybe for Christmas, you're going to give them a pretty coffee pot. Well, give them the mugs and the cozies to match. Look, I got it all worked out for you, don't I? Oh, there, and since I don't really do tea, but there's a tea cozy too, the teapot cozy. But I don't really do tea. There's a beautiful place setting for people. You know, now a lot of this stuff has to be for people who enjoy getting homemade gifts, or handmade gifts. You know, if this is somebody who only likes to buy their stuff from Wayfair or you know, those places where you order, you know, that might not be worth the time to do that. Might just be better to pull out your card and go ahead and order them something. But those of us who like handmade things, that's really pretty. Look at that. That little place setting. Oh, I can tell you about my story real quick. Okay, so it was one of my knit groups. I think it was my Tuesday morning knit group. Well, I did it for all of them. One year at Valentine's, it fell on my time to have it at my house. So, it was going to fall on it. So about a month out, I started crocheting these beautiful doilies. I'll have to bring one out because I did myself some. And I put everyone's place setting on my glass table with the doily as the placemat. And then I built a plate and the saucer and the cup and the thing and the pretty spoon. You know how you lay it out, you know, dinner style. And it was so pretty, and it looked so pretty. And at the end, it was such a surprise for me to say, and because they were complimenting on me, oh, these are beautiful. I know you made them. Oh, my God. And they were just talking. I said, well, guess what? They're your Valentine gift. Everyone got to take home their beautiful, and I made it out of threads. So I will show that. I'm sorry I don't have it right now. I should have had that. If I have to go off camera for anything, then I'll grab one. But you can see how interesting that would be. Now there's baskets. I'm not into that, but so now I'm gonna flip through because I just can't do it. I got to get to the lace one too. So I just wanted you to see the dreams, the ideas, the creativity, that the key of, if you unlock this, the knowledge from this book and use it, if you take this book and it's a key to unlock and use that knowledge, then you'll be able to create things just like me or anyone else. All right, there's circular cables. Oh, I love that. Oh, look at that. I'm sorry, I said I wasn't going to do another. Oh, look at that. See, now they're getting a little more complex as you go across. See? Now, the reason I started with this, to show you this book, because this is where I'm going to start come the first of the year. We don't have time right here before Christmas, so you'll just have to put that off. We've got too many things to finish up the year, and we've got to have our Thanksgiving. I got to work on my Thanksgiving special to showcase all of the people who have submitted pictures. But starting next year, we're going to be working, and we're going to do some beautiful cable type purses. Nothing high end, just some very basic and I think you're going to like the idea of doing a smaller project, but yet getting a big bang for your bucks. And as you can see, look. All right. Now some may decide to do pillow fronts, and you could do that too. I'm not into the throw, but I think I missed a project. Wait, I need to go back. Oh, I need to go back. There was one that I need to show you. Here it is. Project number 3 is a beautiful scarf. Now, we haven't left. You got to have some cable scarves. Now, you just got to put some cables in a beautiful scarf and put yourself on some pretty little whatnot pins or shawl pins or whatever. But that's something. So, let me go through. Let me see if there's anything it's just one beautiful large swatch after another, but without being just over the top and foreboding for, even beginner knitters. Okay, now he's winding up real good, so I'm going to come to an end right now, then come back in just a minute when he takes a break. But here's another bag. Look, a knitting bag. Oh my gosh! Bingo! Look at that. We knit our own bag to take our knitting in so that we can knit anywhere we go. Now, I can't say that again. Oh my gosh, look at the fabric. Oh, I get to go in my fabric stash. Oh, here's a good picture. Let me bring it right there. Look, a knitting bag to put our knitting in, to take it everywhere we go when we want to knit. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Just simple. Like I said, time people. Look, I have a lot of that fake fur stuff. All right, so this is, try to find this book. Well, wait and let me go through the next one, and then order them, see if you can find them both at the same time, or, whatever. But there is the cable knitting one. This is where I'm starting in 2020. I've already put it out there. All right, be back in just a minute. All right, now here is the second book, and this is the lace book, and the name on it in this series is The Very Easy Guide to Lace Knitting, Step-by-Step Techniques, Easy to Follow Stitch Pattern Projects to Get You Started by Lynn Watterson. So I thought, well, let me hurry. My husband was cutting the grass, remember, and he just kept right on cutting and went on next door. Sometimes he'll just keep cutting, riding his mower as long, look, to the next person's yard. Okay, so let's get into this one because, of course, I do more lace than I do cable. So I say this to last. And again, very nice book, and I'm just going to use him a little bit. We'll keep going. And it's basic. It starts pretty much like the other book with all the basic information and all about needles and yarns and gauges and things like that for basic knitting. You know, because sometimes, like I said, you have to remember or keep in mind that we always have new friends joining us, and everyone's not on the same level. And that means, which is good, great, because, oh, here he comes. Because that keeps me growing by having new people to join us. And then plus we have our seasoned knitters like I am. And I got to stay ahead. So let me just turn a few pages. See, it's pretty much set up like the first book. We've already covered it. Now, as the first one, this book has beautiful, she's done a beautiful job in presenting large swatch pictures. Isn't that nice? Can you see it? I'm just trying to make sure I'm on. And it starts out with eyelet patterns. And this is an eyelet rib pattern. It has the written line by line and the chart, just like the cable book. Nice pictures. Like I say, you don't have to really do a lot now because you can just go on YouTube. Or you can come over and see Jay knit. You can come over and watch and I'll knit it for you. I'll show you step by step. Because, like I said before, the knowledge that you get from a stitch book is like a key that opens up your creativity. So now let's look. Now here's a beautiful stitch, diagonal eyelets. You can see that. Now that would be a really pretty stitch to put in a sweater. But she again gives a variation. Here it is in filigree. It says, worked in a fine mohair yarn on US, well, it didn't say US, size 6 4mm needles. The eyelet pattern has a delicate appearance. The pattern looks equally good on the knit side and the purl side. Now, isn't that nice to know? I can take this for maybe people that, you know, maybe don't like to work in small yarn like me, and work it in maybe a number 3 or number 4 weight. But the ones who like lace weight, mohair, it looks just as pretty. So now let's just lightly go through some of the pages because, and I'll tell you, now here is eyelet blocks and it has baubles. Well, here's a variation, eyelet blocks with beads. Now, she suggests, you know, in her instructions, she would have you to string the beads. But I would simply use a small crochet hook, depending on the size of the hole of the bead, and just put them and place them as I came to them. And we'll have to do some of that once we get back into the, you know, like I said, we're getting ready to go into really winter. It's getting to be winter really quick, really fast. I see snow coming to the northeast. So we're going to start out with cables. But we will work our way back around to this book. All right, now she has projects in the book also. Here's a blanket out of that, the eyelet blocks and baubles. Beautiful baby blanket. I'm not really into, you know, I don't do baby things, but some of you have grandkids or just little princesses like this who would love to wear this pretty little child's cardigan. She's taken 2 stitches out of this book, and we'll see both. Here's one on top, and then here's one that she puts around the edge. What do you think of that? All right, but let's get on to some of the, like I say, the things that we're mainly interested in. Here's single diamond, very easy, very recognizable stitch. She shares different variations of the stitch. Here's arrowhead lace. Nice swatch, line by line pattern, and the chart. Here's a variation where she uses a stitch, but she adds a small simple cable on the sides. See? Just food for thought. Oh, we've seen small diamonds, very well known, very recognizable. Now here's spirals and berries. But now to me that's part of the leaf. I see the leaves in here and you've seen it too. But that would be really pretty, especially here at Thanksgiving. Wouldn't that be pretty in something? A pretty little scarf or a shawl or a nice wrap. If we had, we're not going to do that this Thanksgiving because we don't have time. But isn't that pretty? The nice swatch. Here's the line by line, row by row pattern and the chart. Now here's a variation in like some mohair again, some finer yarn. She calls it fine mohair. But I don't see the stitch definition as much, do you? The finer the yarn, I just don't get this, that the yarn we're used to, number 4 weight or even dropping down to a 3 weight, pop. It just pops. So I like that. But at least there's variations. So, everyone's taste is different. She also shows you some cute little things how to take. Maybe you're not ready for a whole pillow front, but so she has these little things where you can just take existing pillows and you make a band and wrap it around the pillow for a little accent. It's kind of clever, isn't it? Cute. There's a cute little purse. I'm just going to run through some. There's that arrowhead in the center of a sweater right down the front. That's how she shows you how to insert it. Okay, now here's a few all over patterns. This is staggered circles. This is where you, maybe the front of a sweater or the top half of a sweater, where you're using an all over pattern. And then here's a variation where it's more in rows. That would be pretty to knit up so far to the underarm or to, where your sleeves, and then to have this to go up to the shoulders. Isn't that nice? All right, of course, everyone's familiar with the feather and fan. Well, this is old shell. This is perfect for beginners. When I do try to get beginners to start to knit, when you're trying to branch out, this stitch always works beautiful, because really there's only one row to this stitch. No matter what variations you have, it winds up being one row. You just put the stitches in different orders to see, to make it look different. And then you fill in with a lot of knits and purls and knit rows and purl rows or whatever. But the original pattern, feather and fan or the old shell, is really just one row of pattern stitch. Makes it real easy for a beginner to get the concept. Here it is in another variation. Here's a cocker shell, kind of a ripple or chevron, the chevron look. Here it is in mohair again. See, to me, it just doesn't have the pop. That's why I just couldn't spend the time doing it in this when I could get this. Look, remember my story about my car? I said I had a Corvair, not a Corvette. I just wanted you to think, oh my gosh, Justin, she was young, she was driving a Corvette. No, a Corvair. A whole lot of price points different. Oh, it was like the knockoff. But I love that little car. I can't remember what tutorial, not tutorial, but whatever video I did that in. And I showed a picture. I found a picture on the web. All right, so now we're getting into some of the leaf stitches. Oh, here's the one right on the front. This is feather lace. That's on the front of the book. Now, you got to get real serious if you want to do some of this. I'd have to make a smaller project because there's 24 rows in something like this. So when there's a lot of rows, then I try to choose a project that's a lot simpler than doing a whole sweater and 24 rows. I would put this more in a scarf or a cowl or just a simple wrap where maybe I use just part of it. So we can think on that. And Like I said, I just want to get this up so that you will have time to put this on your Christmas list. And like I said, you're going to have to do a little hunting. Here's cable and lace. Now, I've done this before in a sweater, but you can see this is everyone loves the combination of cable and then lace. I think that's what I call mine. Winter cables and spring lace or something like that. Here's a sweater. Here it is again. In another variation, maybe in a different weight yarn. You see that? How it really pops. Stands out. Alright, let's get on back here in the back. She also has some more projects too. But this is real pretty. This is diamond trellis. Look at that. Oh, now we're talking serious knitting here. There's 32 rows in this one. So this would, to me, would be more of an insert up the front or somewhere in a shawl where I can build on it and come out, but only use just what I need. You know, you don't have to use the whole thing. You can use just what you need. Look at this. She gives a nice chart. You see this chart? Well, this chart is only doing not the whole. She's giving you the bottom part or the main part of the diamond and the stitches. Well, this could be easily done along the bottom of something. Maybe a wrap, and just run this along the bottom of the wrap. Then the rest in stockinette or another beautiful stitch or another simple lace stitch. We need to keep our eye on this one. Keep your eye on this one. It may show up at any time on Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. Because just as soon as I said that, I could see this at the bottom of something long where we have to work out something long. And then once we finish this part, we can go to a simpler stitch and not have to wear ourselves out. All right. Let's see what projects. There's some projects. There's a scarf. Let's see that. And a cute little, there's a throw or wrap. Here's a princess purse. Here's a princess purse. And then there's a baby blanket. And a shrug. So there are plenty of projects. Not only the stitch, but projects for you to look at and admire. And so I think that with this book and this one, this is why this is on my Christmas wish list for this year. And I hope, well, I'm sharing it with you, so hopefully you will put it on your Christmas wish list. Like I said, 2020, we will start with the cables. I hope you've enjoyed this, me sharing these books. Like I said, they brought a lot of joy to me. They're simple, that, we can start out, easy and then build up. And then who knows where we'll go from there. So, as you look for them, I hope you the best. I will be back with something, for November and my Thanksgiving special to showcase all my friends' beautiful work. So, this is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam, telling you, I hope you have fun shopping for your books, for your Christmas list. And until then, we'll see you.